get it.
It's called the Wrecking Crew, TWK.
That's dope.
Shout out to motherfuckers from 818.
Yo.
My first crew was Rhythmatic Funk Movement.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So also known as the Fried Poppers.
Fried
So,
fucking poppers.
so when I first started, like I started dancing late, like Frantic Tempo were probably dancing before me. I started dancing in 1999, and when I first started dancing, like there was 3 crews that I used to look up to, which was Electric Boogaloo's, of course, Motion Sickness, and the Poppers, which was Sweepy, Frank Boogie, Disco Dave, Jazzy J, and Waleed.
You'll say the name again? It cut off a little bit, Kid Boogie.
It was a Rhythmatic Funk Movement, which was they were also their name was Fried Poppers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the members were Sweepy, Frank Boogie, Disco Dave, Waleed, Jazzy J. Those were the core members of that crew.
Fuck.
Tempo knows of them. Tempo knows about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when they would come to town, I'd be hanging around them.
Yeah. And we like I bro, that's pretty much where my name came from, you know, like I used to always like try to dance like Frank Boogie. That was like you know what I mean? So when I when I actually got to learn from Sweepy and Sweepy like put me under his wing, I got to practice with Frank, and you know, like I used to try to dance like him, and Frank was like, "Hey, you're like my baby, you're Kid Boogie," and I was like, oh, "I like this, I like that name," you know what I mean? So that's where it came, and then I don't know if you guys remember, it was these members, but then I used to dance with this Japanese girl named Kana. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah,
Kana
I remember Kana.
She was from New York. So me and Kana were the newest members of the Fried Poppers, because Kana was Jazzy's student and Frank's student.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my first crew before I got into Machine Gun Funk.
It's fucking hard, bro. That's so hard. All right, Tempo.
Man, okay, where do I start?
The first.
Relax.
So is it? It has to be. Are we talking about just
Your
a
first.
popping crew?
No,
Or
your
my
first crew. Your first crew.
Okay. The
Calm
first
down,
crew I was ever
calm down.
with was called Vicious out of high school, out of Kalamazoo Central High School, and it was me, a dude named Lennar Crenshaw, and the twins, which was Jadal and Hari Johnson, and we formed just because we were like the best known dancers in the school,
Yeah.
but the best known dancers it pretty much went by high school and then went by what area you was from. So, but the problem is that they had to do it by school because some of the kids will be from another side of town going to going to school across town. So, you know, like I was part of the East Side kids over near off this place called Riverview Drive and Gold Road, right? So that section, I was part of them, which was like Deep Hood. It's the same hood my daddy used to run around in, right? When they was on some gangster shit. So me being affiliated with that, like that, we were like the dancers of that school. Then later on, I ended up getting with another crew, which was a b-boy crew called Hardcore Detroit, right? Yeah, so I was there first. Technically, it was me and somebody else. I believe Crisco was in it. But I was one of their first poppers in that crew. This is like 2000. So the Vicious thing started about 1990, I want to say 98. And then I got into Hardcore Detroit in like 2000, 2001. After that, I started, I was so disconnected from the popping scene, but I heard so much because of bboy.com and Mr. Wiggle's site. Yeah, man, before I had like great internet at the house, I used to go down to the library, right? I used to spend hours at the library on the computers and rent out a computer and try to learn as much as I can of where these places were and who was it. And eventually I ran into a dude named Sergio Funk.
Oh,
Sergio.
I remember that dude.
Wow.
Out of Arizona. Then when I ran into him, I eventually saved up my little money and ended up taking a Greyhound bus. My first trip by myself, I took a Greyhound to Arizona to learn more about,
From where?
boogaloo from Michigan.
From Michigan?
So I took a 3-day trip from
You better say
Kalamazoo.
how long that trip was, Tempo. You acting like you went around the corner in that motherfucker. You better.
It was like what, 2.5 days or something like that.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
2.5
I made that
days.
trip like a couple times, man. Like a lot of people don't know that part of how everybody ended up getting to know me. But I used to make the Greyhound trip to Arizona, went out there for a week, and then jump back on the bus, go back to Michigan. And it was like, yo, we're gonna go to this thing called the B-Boy Summit. You should come out. This is in 2002. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll save up some cheese. I'll get out there. Jump right back on the bus, go out to Arizona, another 2.5-day trip. And then we made our way up to LA, and that's when I met Motion Sickness, the rest of his crew. Popzilla, French Twist, Legend, of course, Flash, and whoever else, and Junior was there. So
that's so hard. You're just like, oh yeah, and Junior Boogaloo.
Yeah, and forgive me if I forgot anybody else, but that was like the first time I was in like around a full popping crew, and I wanted to be down, but I didn't want to ask. I was too proud. So we ended up doing the B-Boy Summit battle. It was like, hey man, we're gonna jump in this battle. You want to do it with us, right? And I was like, all right, cool. I'll do it with you. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit more about how y'all do y'all thing. So yeah, let's test it, right? And it came pretty good. And then that same night they battled me and the crew.
Wow.
You guys battle at that summit.
Yeah, they actually battled me, and they didn't be like, hey homie, why don't you come over, come kick it with it? It was like, nah, nigga, we about to put you through the gauntlet. Do this. Do this. And, all right. And then it was like, Flash, get him. And I'm like, what wait a minute. I didn't know this was a thing, man. So end up getting battled in, got in, and yeah, man, the rest is history from there.
That's so dope. Like, I really want people to like really let that get in their brain. Like, he traveled 2 to 3 days to go somewhere where he did not know it was guaranteed if he was gonna get the fuck down. Just like having to trust this person he met online.
It was a big risk, man. It was a big risk. And but the problem the problem that I try not to forget about it. It's not a story that I tell a lot of people. It's true as all hell because got receipts. But when they come down to it, that's how I guess, lack of a better word, hungry I was to be a part of something, because I spent a lot of my life isolated from this and wanting to be around people who were just like me. To be accepted around people that was just like me, man. And that sense of brotherhood with being around other poppers, like being in a B-boy crew is cool, but you're the only popper.
Yeah.
And there might be a chance if you go to the jam, you might run into somebody who kind of can pop and want to have those conversations. I just wasn't getting that. So I had to go a little bit further out. And I knew that California was like the mecca of all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, well,
y'all motherfuckers told a lot of history. I just said, I was in the wrecking crew.
Yeah, that's your fault. That's your fault, dog. That's your fault. That's why I put your ass first. I thought you was gonna talk about
specific on the question. I ain't talking about whole goddamn history and shit.
All right, well, build off of it. After Wrecking Crew, what was your other crew? Because you was in like 15 crews, motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
No, the Wrecking Crew lasted all through my high school, but the problem was like when I finally reached high school, I was 7th grade. I was a scrub. We called ourselves scrubs because we were the first initiation to middle school before the 6th graders came in, before they changed the whole schooling system. But I remember like having to create my own name. Like, I wasn't gonna let no motherfucker name me. I was like, hell nah, ain't nobody gonna give me my name, right? So I had to like search, do all the digging, and then there was mad crews around this the San Fernando Valley, OSK, Cab Crew. Like these were all b-boy crews. It wasn't like a popping squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only squad that really, really like helped me gain inspiration was Air Force Crew. Like that was my like hope. You know,
Yeah.
if I can become Air Force Crew, like I know for a fact my skills are on point.
Who was in Air Force
Yeah,
Crew?
yeah.
At the
Which poppers
time,
were in Air Force Crew?
poppers were, you know, Mr. Animation, Mr.
Rest in peace.
Ree, Chuko, like those were the dudes really putting in hella work in the underground
Yeah.
scene at that time, you know, for stages and music. And that's like 95, 96, 97, 98, even before that, like even before that. But, you know, 94 is when I started my, like with my crew. And then it led all the way to basically 2000, and by that point, if it wasn't for my big bro Hayes, who was an official member of Air Force Crew, then that's when I became a part of Air Force Crew. But it was like being the last of the Mohican, you
Yep,
know, like
straight up.
at that time, Animation, Ree, and Chuko left, and they got into Universal B Boys, and they were with B Boy Ivan. But it
Oh
was
shit,
Mm.
I forgot about
like a
that.
big family, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing shows with Ivan, you know, Mr. Animation, Mr. Ree, Mr. Animation, rest in peace, Mr. Ree, and then Chuko. Like Chuko was in and out, like he was kind of going in different directions and
I think
documenting a lot of stuff.
he left that he lived in a different state, didn't he?
I think at one point,
Yeah,
yeah.
I felt like he lived in Chicago or something like that.
Ree too. Ree was out in Arizona for a while as well.
Yeah. Ree
Uh,
was in Arizona
Oh,
for a
that's
while.
Wizard
So
connection. Okay.
So when I finally was aficionado for Air Force, I was like, damn, like it's just
What's
me and
next?
Hayes. It was just me and Hayes, you know. It was
Yeah,
like,
you know?
but we still had like a lot of animation would do a lot of shows with us, and that's when we would we got to meet Devious. Like
Yeah, I know.
you got to see us like do our thing on the stages with Jekyll. I met Jekyll in 2000, so we developed the LA Styles, which wasn't really a squad, you know, but it was like kind of a representation of what we represent in LA. So LA Styles
That's
became
dope.
like a
Yeah.
lifestyle thing. Like, yo, we chill with DJs and MCs, graph writers, um, beatboxers. Like, we had a whole show when it came to,
Hard.
you know, representing for the culture. And I think, you know, that was LA Styles. Like that was showing like we come from the streets, we come from the grind, but we're here to
Yeah.
kind of showcase like the connections of all elements, you know. And
That's dope.
yeah, so after that, then I got into Funny Bones Crew and G Stop.
Yup.
And you know, the rest is history from that point on. So
Yeah.
that's when Tempo finally became, you know, we were the little brothers right there, you know.
Yup.
But
Always,
yeah, man.
always,
Yeah,
always. We
man.
helped build the crew. It
I
was
remember seeing
even.
I remember seeing Tempo the first time it was at a carnival event.
I was just about to ask. I want to know your guys' first time seeing each other, meeting, knowing of each other. So Carnival, what? What did you say?
This was at Carnival, and Pakalika, rest in peace, he was still alive. There's a
Right.
lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of elements, and they would throw this circle on. But I always felt like I was an outsider from this connection because it always seemed like y'all knew each other. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. But when I seen Temple get down, I was like, I'm either gonna battle this fool or we gonna
I remember that.
are
I
we gonna
remember
be
that.
brothers,
I
dog?
remember that.
Like one or the other. Like it's that's that motherfucker right there. Like I'm about to get in this fool's ass, and we about to be like allies, one or the other. There was no middle ground at this point, you know. But eventually, like that's where everything went into the whole
Yeah.
G style phase. So crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we all,
That's dope.
everybody kind of knew each other. I think Alan, I think when I met you by proxy through Sugar Pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I remember I didn't really start getting to know you until that one time we picked you up from work, me and Legend.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy because Legend was trying to get at one of my friends, or he got at one of my friends, and
Yeah.
you guys just came to pick me up because you were supposed to meet my friend or something. I don't really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I remember that was, I forgot
Yeah.
her name. Yeah. I remember that girl. She was a nice girl. She was a nice girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of my earliest memories of you because I don't know if I met you at Pop's house or I met you at Sweepies, but I believe it was Sweepies.
It might have been. Might have been.
And more than likely it was Sweepies. because me and Legend was hanging out, and that's when the boys were still very, very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like children. So
And the boys you're talking about, Armani and
yeah,
and and Destin.
and
Destin.
Destin.
Yeah.
Man,
They
that
were cute kids, man. They're cute kids,
Yeah.
and they love their parents, and they did real good. Now they grown, you
swole,
know.
Yeah.
swole as hell, bro. Fucking
Swole,
Armani was
bro.
grown, and
Armani is bigger than me.
yeah, he got some muscle, got fucking facial hair,
yeah,
you know. Like, holy shit, man!
yeah,
Like,
man. That's so good.
oh
Kid,
my god,
when's your first memory of both of them, of Frantic and Tempo?
Shit. Uh, my first memory of Tempo is I want to say it was in San Diego.
yeah,
Me and Jay Smooth, we went to go visit Junior because Jay Smooth was really close to Junior back then.
Junior, yeah, at
He,
that
he
time, yeah,
still is, he still is. But I remember he invited us to this house club in downtown San Diego, and you go downstairs.
the Sea Lounge, yes.
Yeah, and I remember you, Junior, Legend was there. What's homegirl's name that always used to hang out with you guys? I think she had dreadlocks.
Yeah, that was my ex.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember all of you guys. I remember that. That was like the first time I seen you, like with all them. The only one that wasn't there, I think, was Flash. Flash wasn't there.
yeah. Flash was like he was still out in San Bernardino.
Yeah, and I might be wrong, but I remember Popzilla and then French Twist wasn't there either.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie Popzilla was there. Junior was always there, and I do
Yeah.
remember that night, and it was at the Red Sea Lounge, riding the gas lamp, and it was this dude named oh god, the DJ, I forgot his name already, but apparently he's still around. He doesn't DJ much now that he's much older.
Oh,
But
what's his name? Riz something?
oh, Kid Riz, no, Riz was Riz
Was
was
it?
DJing that night. Riz was DJing that night.
Oh, okay. But then yeah,
Oh,
it's a
Smooth.
long time ago.
That's his name. DJ Smooth and Riz was DJing that night. I remember that.
Yeah. It was good times, man. That was when I was young and shit.
No, man.
You guys still young, man. You guys still
Bro,
young.
I was underage. I was underage going into that club, but the owner knew who me and Legend was through Junior.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we weren't drinkers or anything. So he was just like, well, you guys come downstairs. You guys can have a good time. Don't try to get any alcohol. You can drink all the water and soda you like. I was like, cool, man. Because he just saw these kids just want to dance.
Junior had all the hookups in San Diego, bro.
Oh, he knew everybody, man. He knew everybody. But I totally forgot that Jay Smooth used to go down to Vista to go visit Junior Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And then with Frantic, man, I don't remember what rave it was, bro, but I remember I saw you at a rave in the drum and bass room. I really forgot which one it was, bro. It might have been that place in downtown LA. I don't think it's there no more. I forget this. It was on 8th.
Yeah,
I forget, bro.
but y'all got some good ass memories. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all be remembering the dopest shit. I can't remember like years ago.
Hey, I want to ask Frantic one thing though. One thing, like Frantic, why the fuck did me and you have beef, bro?
Yes, I was about to say because what I remember is you two.
Because I remember you had beef with JJ all the time.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, me and you had beef. And I was just like, what the fuck? All right.
We need answers, Frantic. We need answers, motherfucker.
Yeah. I think the only reason why we actually had beef was because you always stepped in when I would step up to Jay Smooth.
Oh,
Like, uh,
probably.
this motherfucker wants some, or it's about to go down. And I'm about to take both of these motherfuckers. And then eventually, I got tired of JJ, and I was like, well, fuck you too.
Oh,
Because you were the one really entering battles locally, like JJ was actually traveling the world and
Yeah,
basically becoming the fucking king. And
yeah.
oh no, that's what it was. Yo, the whole King of LA thing. The King of LA thing.
I was like, yo, how can you be a king if you ain't a prince?
Oh
So he the king of Thailand now.
yeah.
He is. He is. But I remember that. I was really like on some like, how are you gonna like to me it just felt weird, but we already talked about this shit. I remember we were in Thailand together and we were talking about all this drama and we actually did an interview together, which actually his brother recorded, and it was really talking about our beef, like how we actually really started beefing, right? And then
Yeah,
we became friends in the end, right? But I was like, I just remember you being basically the only target that was willing to accept it. Because, I mean, it was weird, bro. Like, I used to throw out fucking daggers at everybody. I remember me and Future battled at Todd's party. I, uh,
yeah,
Tetris would be like, hey, bro, I don't want beef, but when we battle, like, and I remember battling Tetris, like, it was just crazy. Like, randomly, people were just like, I just like the way you actually go at people, like they looked at it as a gimmick. And with you, just like the, the, when the competition started kicking in, and there was that one time, I don't know if you remember this, but it was at How the West Has Won. And you even came up to me and were like, I won? Like you were really surprised, like not surprised, but
I
just
was
like,
yeah,
there. I was
like,
there.
yeah, you were right next to me.
yeah,
And you were like, I won, and I was just like, like it ain't, it's just, it's these aren't in favor of
yeah,
my
yeah,
stilo. But
yeah,
um, but I was like, I remember that, and then I just remember that, and then like realizing like you started stepping up when I started really calling out JJ, and you were always there. You were always
yeah.
there. So it just kind of, he disappeared, and you just became that fucking target.
Pretty much,
So
you being a good friend. You being a good friend to your homie.
Yeah, he was a
hey,
See
loyal friend.
that's bro. That's what JJ did to me, bro. All his bees came into mine.
Yeah.
but I've never really like when it came down to in 2009, I think, when I went to Korea, or 2010, I think it was like there was like we literally, it was like, yo, do you not like me? And I was like, bro, I don't fucking, I ain't tripping, but
Yeah,
if you're gonna step up in a hostile environment and be like, try to be the front man, then you're obviously gonna get whatever's I'm giving, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember us like talking, and it was just like, and I realized like, no, I don't fucking hate this motherfucker, but I was like, I
yeah,
don't hate you. I just was like, but that one time, remember when I went up to JJ's face and I was like, I don't wish death upon you, dog. I don't
yeah.
fucking like hope like the worst for you, but I just don't fucking respect you,
I remember
And I
that.
was like, I don't fucking like you. And I looked at Kid Boogie and I was like, what?
you,
Yo. I remember that JJ's like, what battle right now? I was like, get the fuck out of here.
that, that's what everyone has to understand too. Is like there wasn't hundreds of poppers for them to be battling and beefing with. Like especially in our scene, it's these like 4 or 5 crews and like 2 or 3 members of those crews who are constantly at all these places just switching off beefs, like all right, like
Yeah.
these 2 groups are gonna beef and then all right now they're gonna be together and like all that type of stuff. And I think it's just super dope to get this context and really these little backstories that I feel a lot of people don't
shit,
really. But
shit is crazy. Shit, life is crazy, bro. Cause look at me now. I'm in y'all crew now.
Yeah, Zulu baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey man,
FCK.
You
congratulations
know?
on that too, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
What's
for
up,
you, man.
Tempo? What's up, Tempo?
What's up, Tempo?
Good.
What's up, Tempo?
What's up?
I've definitely had my fair share of being part of organizations and crews.
Yeah.
I think I'll
You
just sit this
already
one
work
out.
for the summit, that's a Zulu, so
Yeah, but still
Yo,
at the same time, man, I was trying to just do something. Here's the thing with the summit. That's funny that you bring that up, man. And that was around the time he was like, "Hey, man, you want to be down with the Zulu Kings, dog?" And I'm like, "Let me get back to you on that."
he's like,
and I really started.
no.
I was really thinking about because I've been asked. It was you, and then Shockwave had asked me. Shockwave and Marie had asked me to be a part of their crew, and then somebody else. But at the time, everything was still kind of raw for me,
Yeah.
and I was still trying to get my shit together because me walking from G Style, that was like a big step because I helped build the crew.
Big time.
After the fact, me and Frantic, and a lot of the relationships had soured
Yeah.
between a lot of people. So I had to really kind of like me going back into LA fully, exposed. It took a lot of hard emotional work for me to get myself together. Me joining the crew wouldn't have been the most ideal because the thing is, I was still in a destructive mode,
Yeah.
and there was no telling how I was going to lose responsibility of myself and start doing shit that I shouldn't be doing. I need that's why me making the move to Australia was a good idea for me. And along outside of me falling in love with my now wife, but it was good because I actually had a chance to grow up and to
Yeah.
learn how to be responsible because everybody knows my face and some people listen to me when I talk. So as far as me being part of People's Cruise organization, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't put myself in a position where I have to be biased based on who I'm with.
That's dope.
I'm better suited where I'm kind of a lone wolf. I'm kind of on the outside ring, and every once in a while, somebody need help. I'm like, hey man, just do this, or hey, what about this, or have y'all thought about this? Just to help out. I haven't been physically active,
That
but
fits
that
your
doesn't mean
personality so
I
well.
can't. Hmm?
I said that fits your personality so well, that position where you're able to just help who you want to help instead of feeling like, oh, I gotta help just these people.
Yeah, and being able to speak about a lot of stuff, man, that you know that we can all fix together. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the whole, like when it comes to the respect factor in going to somebody and asking for help, or giving help, and people swatting your hand away as soon as you try. It's like the whole thing when a couple months ago it happened with the fiction kid and Flat Top and J Rock. Like
Yeah.
one of the biggest things that I took from that, and most people know or don't know, is that I took it personally because I felt like I caused a problem from something that happened years ago. And calling out an older dancer and you were young was not a thing that happened. Ever since I
Yeah.
did that shit, me and Pop got into it. And then everybody just kind of was like, what the fuck? And those are the cases when things like this pop up. I'm like, man, I should never did that shit. Because now everybody think it's okay. And it's so normal that people think it's the right thing to do, and they're just doing it just for the sake of doing it because they don't want to say no, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
No, we talked
You
about
know?
this on a previous episode. Me and Kid were talking about that, just like that whole dynamic of, especially now that there is no respect, there is no line that people have. Just
Yeah.
uh, like you were saying, like it was funny because you were saying like, oh yeah, like no one can expect Flat Top now at his age to try to do these moves. No, this generation does. They're like, no, he should still be able to do it, and if he can't,
Yeah.
well, shouldn't listen to him. Like it's sad,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say that's all your fault, but I get what you're saying too, like with that, and that's so
Like,
dope you're able to.
it's
yeah,
not
like
it's not your fault, Tempo. Honestly, bro. Like
Yeah.
I,
It's
I
not.
I know,
it
I
is
know, but
not.
but
It is not.
but but
Like
at
no.
at
Hold
at
on.
the, at
Hold
the
on.
same
Let me speak
time,
now. You already spoke. God damn
yeah.
it. You shut your mouth,
Go.
right?
I'm sorry,
Your brother's talking
but
right now. Your brother is talking now, but
I know.
on some real shit, like those times and the influences that were around us,
Mhm.
had a lot to do with, some of the decisions you and I both made. And
Yeah.
in all respect, like I can understand why that brings back these feelings, but I feel like, look at all the peace you have made even before you decided to move. Look at all the hugs you were able to create afterwards of things that just, you never even thought of, So like to still feel like you have a hold on that, I think now it's just about like letting that go and looking at the generation now and just seeing it for what they are. They just don't understand. And that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what you have done, bro. Like nothing.
Yeah, man.
Because this
You, you,
generation is a whole different, it's not even like the same lineage. It's literally dance. And that's where it speaks. Like where we were was a thin line in this
Yeah.
whole fucking structure. You know what I'm saying? So if you could really like just let that forgiveness come in and just be like, man, like, and don't take that so personal. It's bro. It is not your fault because
Yeah.
there's still people like myself who were able to like talk with fiction and be like, man, look, this is how Flat Top teaches. This is
Right.
how he tries to explain things. And we had a phone conversation literally the day after that happened. Fiction was like, he DM'd me, bro, can we talk? And like, and if it was, I can't say if anybody else would have done the same, but like, I literally sent him my digits and he was like, man, look, I don't understand what happened. And when he explained everything, I had to back him up and say, look, man, and I gave him the deal. I gave him the understanding. He literally was like, wow, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And he was
Hmm.
able to understand that. But then the video, as you see what media does to fucking people's minds, the video caused so much ruckus that it made him say, like, Frantic's the only motherfucker that was ever real.
No,
That's
and
crazy.
honestly,
That's
it's not
crazy.
only the video; it's everyone's. It's the power that everyone has by being
That's what
able
I'm
to
saying.
input. So then they
Yes.
start putting what they think someone's intentions are out there, and then now this whole like made up like, oh, this person
it was
from
J Rock.
No,
ah,
but I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
like
that had
social
a.
media, it allowed people to speak freely on
yes,
what was going on,
that's what media
Yeah.
did.
and then boom, like all the fucking commentary started coming in, and then you get the information, and you feel like, damn, this is my fault.
Because of your influence in the scene.
But look, bro,
Yeah,
just like I've always been there, and I try to be there as a bro. Like, trust me, dog. This was not your following. This
yeah,
was
yeah.
not because of your cause.
Whole different. There's a
As
whole
much
Tempo.
as you feel that, like it hurts me to even like hear you say that, but like that's why I had to speak on it and just be like, bro, trust me, dog.
shit.
These
Mm.
kids,
Tempo.
these kids
Yep.
need us to come in the mediation and like show them like, yo, flat top works like this. Animation, he's no longer here, but this was his mentality. Flash or whoever people that people don't know about are like, yo, who are these dudes you talking about? It's our responsibility, bro. We're the lineage
Yeah.
to that history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Go,
No,
Alan. What you say?
you also gotta understand that this new generation, they're spoiled with
No.
everything, So, like, I don't really know that fiction dude, but if he doesn't get what he wants, I already know the type of person he is. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
his by him losing or by him not passing the prelim, he's so spoiled. He's so used to having it his way, where his ego got hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the club had tried to explain to him why he didn't make it. He didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm.
just it's this generation that they have everything like literally at the palm of their hands by on their phone. Like they have knowledge, they have
Yeah.
they can't they don't know how to work hard for shit.
Yeah.
So when somebody actually gives them the time and be like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is why you lost. They don't want to hear it, bro. I've gone through hella like conversations like this with new generation dancers that just don't want to hear it anymore.
No, and I want to say this too, is that like the whole when someone from Kid Boogie or Frantic and Tempo's generation say work that you're not working hard, right? They don't mean you're not working harder than your peers. It's what's working hard to them. What's their definition of working hard, and what like Tempo just to go session had to travel 2 days. You know, that took he didn't just wake up and buy a bus ticket. He trained his motherfucking ass off his whole life to get to that point, to build up the courage to just be like, I gotta go do that. You know, so when these older and that's the disconnect, right? Is that and Tempo, when I called you, to talk to you about bringing you back out into what we were doing, it's a part of this. Like, there's a big disconnect between these you could say older generation and this new generation, and a lot of it gets lost, and since you guys are not there, or these stories ain't being told in this way where we're giving context to a lot of shit, they don't feel like no one could tell them shit. They're like, fuck it, like, I'd rather listen to this 22-year-old who has 50,000 followers than to listen to let's say a Tempo or a Popular, or I'm just using
or
people who are, let's say, go ahead.
Or a flat top. Listen to a flat top.
And then you go even deeper to someone that they're even more disconnected from. Then they're like, "Who's flat top? Like, he can't. Like, well, let me see him get down." That's the thing. Is like, let me see him get down. And me and Ken were talking about this. Like, and you guys touched on it. I remember when you had to be good and practice your ass off to go in a cipher.
Yeah.
To go in the cipher. To just do a 1 minute round in a cipher, you had to make sure your shit was on point, because everyone will look at you like, how fucking dare you? Like, how fucking dare you jump in this motherfucking interrupt this flow?
We literally had to practice for the practice.
Yeah.
Yo.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with that.
We don't see we literally don't see that nowadays, bro. We don't see that nowadays.
No, and the next thing I want to add to that is, like, before, people used to, like, you will say, or you guys would say things like this, or OGs would say things like this, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, they always want to say, well, back in my day. Well, now in 2020, that we're talking about giving homage to culture and making sure that things are done the right way, then this does need to be said this way. Then you can't,
I like to add to that too, that I think that's something that's also being missed, something that needs to be said for people who ever see this. There's pain in the magic,
bro. Yes.
And the what we were touching on earlier with watching Pete and them getting down and doing those risky moves and things like that. It doesn't look like that on paper, on video, but on the physical side, there's pain in that magical part that a lot of people, and that's one of the reasons why the magical side of popping that we've seen growing up throughout the 80s or 90s or what we came into, it's always, it seems to be lost every so once in a while. Every 5 years, as new people come in, that magical side of it, that some dude did a crazy glide, or this dude make it look like he was actually levitating. We can't figure out how does flat top move like that and have that much control. Like, the magical parts, there's the pain in it that comes with it in order to get to the magic. And I think that a lot of the people coming in, they give up when it starts to hurt. They give up when they start to dedicate themselves. You know what I'm saying? It fucking hurts to sit there. Let me tell you something. Skeeter Rabbit, I've told the story many times. Skeeter Rabbit, right? Skeeter Rabbit used to be really, really, really tough on me, right?
Yeah.
Skeeter Rabbit was mean to me. When it came to everyone, he was nice to, but when it came to me, he was really, like, he would not let up at all, and I never knew why. Now I know why. Years later, after speaking to Pete and everybody else, and they're like, "Well, this is why, man. Like, this is why he isolated you from everybody else." How much is your knees gonna take of sitting there doing boogaloo rolls for fucking 10 minutes straight? I mean, or doing walkouts until you got it right, like for 30 minutes. This nigga had me. We was Tony Basil was there and everybody was there, right? It was at this music shoot for Enrique Iglesias video, right? Geraldo was there, Hugo was there, so everybody seen this shit. This nigga Skeet literally pulled me off once they setting up the camera. It was just like, hey man, let me see a walkout, and I showed him what I knew what it was. This is like 2004, so I showed him what I knew what a walkout was. He's like, nah, nigga, you doing it wrong. Do this, because I thought that whatever I was seeing everybody else was doing, that's what you're supposed to do. He's like, no, don't do it like that. That looked like shit. Do this, nigga. Now do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Yep. Do it right. You making me mad. Do it again. Nigga, do it again. Okay, now. Yeah, bro. And then we went from walkouts, and he showed me a proper walkout. He made me do that walkout hundreds of times. It had to be like a 30-minute session, and Tony was sitting off on like a director's type of chair thing, sitting off to the side. Enrique Iglesias was like right next to her. Gerardo was watching me do this shit. I'm embarrassed, right? Because I'm like, fuck, man, we doing a clinic right now. We're in a fucking music shoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. I want Legend. He's over there talking to girls and shit, and I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? And then we doing walkouts and fucking old bands and shit. And I got it down so packed, but my body hurt so much. My legs and my knees was hurting. My feet was hurting. So much. But I can do that shit perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I can do it perfect. And I can do it so many different ways. And I know the mechanics of it because he literally pushed me through the pain and was like, nigga, we not doing. How I'm gonna tell Skeet no?
See?
Yeah, exactly.
And now they would tell him no. They would tell him chill, chill out.
The director of the music shoot learned very quickly. Don't be fucking around with that.
Yeah. That's Skeet shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he topped the whole goddamn.
The whole set was shook. Man.
Bro, the whole set. Ask Hugo, ask Tony Basil, ask Legend, ask fucking Gerardo. Nigga, I was there for like 30 minutes straight doing these three little things, and he wouldn't let me go. And being my upbringing, unfortunately, I was, they were nice people, but I had a lot of rough people in my family and friends and shit, so I respond to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shut the fuck up, he's telling me something.
Yo.
To everybody else, they're like, man, why is he being so mean to this dude? Mm-hmm. Or why is he making him do like that? In my head, I'm like, damn, this nigga is rough, man. He ain't gonna let up now. All right, let's just go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
I'll show later.
I can totally relate to you, bro, because he did exactly the same shit to me.
He wasn't no fucking joke, man.
And he slapped me in the back of my head, bro. Because he was doing exactly the same thing, right? He was teaching me puppet style in Vegas, because I was staying at his house for like about a month.
Right.
He just kept he's like, no, do this with your knees, do this with your knees, like just teaching me how to do puppet. And it was a little small step that we did, but he changed it.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him and I was like, nah, bro, that's not how you did it. You did it like this. I didn't say it like that, but I was like, nah, you did it like this. And then he looks at me and he just says, ah, in the back of my head, bro. And I'm pretty gangster, bro, but I looked at him and I was like, damn, this is a big ass motherfucker.
And he got big ass hands too, man.
Yeah. And then so I'm looking at him. I was like, I don't know what to do, bro. I'm fucking mad. He just slapped me. He's big as fuck. I'm staying at his house. And he's like, I just treat all my students like that. Don't worry, you cool. I was
like, Jesus Christ.
I miss that guy, man.
No, rest in peace. And those are really, and to wrap it up, because if not, we will be here for fucking ever. And we got to do this again, all four of us for sure. There's so much we could say, but that is something that now is impossible for people to do. Unfortunately, like understandably, I understand, but
Mm.
I wish there would be exceptions. I wish people did understand that there is exceptions. Like there is certain ways, like you cannot. And now that 2020, that all this thing about how we are treated in these underprivileged communities and stuff, or how we're raised, like you're not gonna get through to kids like us, or when we are kids, by being nice and gentle, like regardless if it's right
No,
or wrong. Someone like Skeet understood how to break through, and
yeah,
even some of my OGs and Frantic's OGs, like they understood, like if they didn't do shit like that, some of us wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here today
This
being
is true.
able to talk about this shit. And yeah, it comes with some consequences and some negative stuff to it, but the positive outweighs it fucking hundredfold. Look at these three men right here. They were taught the same way, that same roughness, and look at how wonderful of teachers and just pioneers they are of our culture. And that's because of that type of method that was used. Uh, but yeah, man, thank you, all you guys, so much for hopping on. This is like, this is so, like, for me, this is like, this is me watching like fucking Jordan, Kobe, fucking whatever people wanted, like celebrity that they could imagine. Like this is how it is for me, because y'all were my superstars. You guys still are. This is, I didn't look up to many celebrities. I didn't really look up to anything like that. I grew up in the scene, so it's so dope that just to be here like a fly in the wall, adding little tidbits. But like, thank you guys so much. I know, Kid Boogie, I don't know if you want to say anything.
yeah, no, thank you, Frantic Tempo. Thank you guys for joining. Uh, I love the stories, man. Let's do this again. It's
Yeah,
dope, man. It's love.
Yeah, I'm down. It
Reminiscing.
was fun.
hell yeah, we're gonna do it again. I had another video, but I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it, and we'll set up another one. We'll set up another one. Let's do it soon though. Let's do it sooner than later. Frantic,
Yeah,
you want
Oh yeah.
let's try to work it out. You just gotta let me know
more
the
time?
thing. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the planet, and I mean it's what, Saturday or something today.
Yeah,
It's like the middle of the day. It's like 5 o'clock.
yeah.
So yeah,
Damn.
Well,
the time thing is hard to manage, but we make it work, man. We make
yeah,
it work, and
Yeah.
I'm happy you invited me in. Thank you, and it's good seeing Frantic and Kid Boogie and you, Devious,
Yes.
man. Thank y'all for not forgetting about me and putting me on, even though I'm so far away. And whoever's out there listening, thank you for listening. You know,
bro, we talk about you more than you think, man, in good ways. All of
Yeah.
us, bro. Like we don't let no, not that people would forget, because you're solidified, but bro, you're mentioned like constantly in all of our conversations. And I'm just so happy that you are in a place where you could feel comfortable to give back to a scene you helped build.
yeah. Well, I feel blessed to not be forgotten, man.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
Hell yeah. Frantic, you
Yeah.
want to say anything?
Yeah, just thank you guys for continuing and just and sharing. Sharing history, sharing your guys' perspectives, and sharing your words from your heart is really like it's a crucial thing, man. Like no matter what's happening in the world, it's still like this. That just shows the true connection of what we have, and the love for the dance and love for even if we consider this a culture or not, like no matter through and through, man, like we have been there for each other in some way, shape, or form, and that will never dissipate, regardless of what is going on in this day and age, and that's to me is the most important like key factor is like, we have to in some way still make sure that we are there for one another and continue these conversations and all. So it was really dope. Thanks, kid, for basically joining the family and being a part of the greater cause, the greater picture. Devious for just like really just putting his head down and just I got to spearhead whatever I got to spearhead, and Tempo
Yeah.
for just not forgetting where you come from, dog.
Yeah.
Like you literally have came and bled and sweat and teared in what we live, you know. So
Yeah.
there's no place for there's no missing link, you know. If you're here, you're here, and you this is what you help create, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you have always been a part of this through and through, you know. No matter the decisions you just no matter the choices you made, you know what I'm saying? Like there's really no sourness that you've ever put on this culture, dog.
Yeah.
Through and
No.
through, bro. And you're always a brother in my eyes, bro.
Yeah.
Always.
Bro,
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad you said that, Frantic, because when I talked to Tempo, I told him, I'm like, it's like y'all fought a war for us, and like it was so crazy. There was few survivors, and Tempo left, you know, to heal, and he didn't realize that a lot of the things y'all fought for happened, and, you know. And then we started putting together this puzzle, and there's only a few missing pieces of this puzzle that's almost completed, and he's definitely a big missing piece that has put a halt to completing this puzzle that of our culture, you know. And now, you know, it's not fully in yet, but we got the piece. We got the piece. We put it in place, you know. And yeah, man. So everybody, thank you so much. This is Outspoken. We appreciate. We love y'all. And yeah, we out.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace.
Let's get it.